So in the past 3 to 6 months, dropshipping just completely died off, and all the gurus that say they're making millions with dropshipping, they're completely lying, because dropshipping just doesn't work in 2025. Like, there was a time, obviously, when dropshipping was working, 2017, even like 2021, 2022 maybe. But, as time continuously goes on, as many people begin to start dropshipping, it just doesn't work. And these are the reasons why. So first of all, it's very unsustainable. The way dropshipping works is you find a product, you build a website, and you just pump it and pump it and pump it. The thing is with this, it's like, first of all, it's very, very hard to find a winning product, because everyone's looking at it in the same places. Everyone's looking on the spy tools. Everyone's looking on ad library. No one's taking the time to understand how to build a real business. Like, dropshipping is not, the way people teach it is not a real business. Most people will literally just find a product, launch it up, rip creatives, and then kill the product. And a lot of times, this is what the graph looks like. If you manage to make dropshipping work, this is usually what happens. You'll have an uptrend of making money. And a lot of times, it's not a lot of money, maybe like $10,000 a month, $30,000 a month. And then literally within 4 months, you'll just see the product just fall. That's because normal dropshipping is not a smart way of running a business, because, assuming you're able to make it work, a lot of times you're going to come up and you're come right down, and then guess what? You're back at phase 1, where you're always chasing the next winning product, because the basis of the dropshipping business is trying to find the best winning product out there. And that is simply just very, very difficult to do. And not only that, once you find a winning product and you're able to make sales, certain things like shipping takes too long. Customers aren't coming back when you have such long shipping times. Ripping creatives will just simply just get you banned on Facebook. If you don't know how to market and if you don't know how to run a business, then ripping creatives will just simply, it's just really, really hard to do. This is why everyone deals with ad rejections and all of this stuff, right? And then shipping takes too long. Now, this plays hand in hand with never getting returning customers. Like, you don't want to be that guy who opens up a dropshipping store, sends it out, and it takes 14 to 30 days for your customer to get it. Not only does that leave a bad taste in your customer's mouth, but no one will ever come back to your store, because literally, like, who would come back to your store when they had a bad experience with you? And having such long shipping times will bring you processor problems. It'll also bring you ad account problems. All of these things these are just headaches that come up with dropshipping. All of that headache just to not even profit that much on your first order purchase, because ad costs are getting so much higher, as well as product costs. Cost of goods is getting much higher. Dropshipping is completely dead in the sense of trying to make money. Like, margins on dropshipping on your first order purchase a lot of times is like 10%, 15%. So that means if you make 100K, you're making $10,000 to $15,000, which is absolutely horrible. Like, this is not how you make money online. Like, you're spending thousands on Facebook if you're able to stay on Facebook. You're spending thousands with your supplier, because they have such high costs now, like with the tariffs and all of that. And you're never able to get returning customers. So, what you should do instead is you should learn how to start a long-term brand. This is how you make money with e-com. This is how I make money with e-com. And this is how you get that lifestyle that you always wanted. Because with dropshipping, you're gonna always start a store, have it last. Maybe you'll make $20,000, $30,000 profit, if you could even get there. And then you're back at square one, like I said, in the trenches, trying to find another product, trying to figure out another store. And in your mind, you have your bills to pay. In your mind, you have to make more money, and that is not the stress that you guys want to have. So instead is what you guys want to start, a long-term brand. And this is a lot easier to start. And obviously, I'm going to tell you guys how to start a long-term brand. But the way to start it is, you obviously pick a niche and find a product market fit for your product. I'm going to go into depth with that in just a second. But with a long-term brand, all the work you do, it's not just for it to die off. All the work you do is going to compound forward, in the future. Not only that, is all the experience you get, you could invest it all into the same brand, because your knowledge will compound. Everything you learn, you just put it in the brand. You'll have so much data on your product and your data on your brand that you'll know what to do. You'll know how to scale it up. Because your brand isn't a product, it's a solution. If I was selling like a health product or a fitness product, my winning product isn't the product that I'm selling. My winning product is the solution that I'm delivering. And why is that? Because I build my whole brand around that solution, right? You know, not only from my winning product, but the other SKUs I have, the upsells I have, the info that I bring to my customers. All of that matters when it comes to building a brand. You can compound all of the elements into your one brand, which will just make it so much better. And not only that, is you can build a loyal fan base that will continue to buy from you. You know, not only through back-end economics, but returning customers and, you know, MRR, which stands for monthly recurring revenue, which is like subscriptions, right? You know, as you guys can see, this is a real screenshot from one of my Shopify brands that's doing 45K a month, and the returning customer rate is 35%. Do you guys realize that a big chunk of this revenue is from people who just came back? And what does that do for you? That literally allows you to what? One, spend more on Facebook. It allows you to have more profit margins. It allows you to invest more into your business. And all of that stuff matters when you're trying to build a brand, because, you know, your brand may start off at 30K a month and you may get to 100K a month, but guess what? You know, in 6 months, that 100K a month is going to be 500K a month. And in 6 more months after that, that 100K a month will be $1.3 million a month. And the reason for that is because brands have exponential growth. You start it and you run it at a basic level, and then as the farther you go, it just continues going up. So like brands, here's a better drawing of a brand. It starts more like this. You go and you go and you go and you go and you go, and then eventually your results just become like that, right? That is the purpose of a brand. Always remember, when you build a brand, you'll have customers that, you know, enjoy coming to your store, that know your brand and resonate with your brand. And what that means is you can literally just spawn money out of thin air. Say out of nowhere, for some reason you need $10,000 in profit. I don't know, let's say you need $10,000 in profit. And this is actually a story. The reason I'm saying this is because I've done this before. Say you need $10,000 in profit because, I don't know, maybe you got a car crash, I don't know, something in life happened, or maybe you just want $10,000 extra to invest in your business. If you have built out a correct brand, you will have a bunch of customers. You can literally just drop an email. Emails don't cost any money, by the way. You can literally drop an email campaign telling all your customers, hey, for 48 hours or for 24 hours, our product is 25% off, right? And how many people are going to go buy that, right? Or you could come up with a new offer like, hey, for 24 hours, this, you know, 3 of our products or 3 plus another product is only cost $100, right? How many people are going to purchase that? Literally no ad cost, and you'll just build profit off of that. I've done it multiple times when I just need to spawn money out of the air to invest in my business or something. But, you know, whenever you have customers and you have a fan base and you have emails and you have SMS, you can literally just spawn money out of nowhere. You could literally say, hey, brand new product just came to the store, be the first one to try it, send out the whole email, and boom, now you just have like $20,000 in sales simply because you sent out emails, right? And then another thing that has to do with brands, most people don't talk about this enough, but you can exit brands for life-changing money, because at the end of the day, you can do $1 million in revenue at $300,000 in profit, but guess what? That profit and that pixel and those customers that you have collected, that is value to somebody. Some people will go out there and purchase that. You know, your store with 300K in profit could sell for, you know, 600K. Now you have 900K that you just made off of this brand, you know, that you built up, all because you took the brand approach, all because you didn't dropship and let the store just die off. You feel me? Like, these things matter. This is why it's important to start a long-term brand. So now I'm going to show you guys exactly, you know, how to start a long-term brand, the steps it takes to start a long-term brand. So when you're trying to start a brand, you don't want to be looking for winning products. You want to be looking for winning niches. There's tons and tons of niches out there. I have a few listed here. You have health, beauty, wealth, relationships, pets, and babies. Now, everything can be kind of positioned in different ways, but you want to find a product that has a unique mechanism in one of the niches, right? So a product that I have an example is NeuroGum. Now, this is a very popular product. This is a, you know, 8-figure, 9-figure product almost, I'm pretty sure. But this is in the niche of wealth, right? Because they position this as, hey, get more energy and focus to go, you know, work harder and make more money. Stay awake and make more money, right? I think it's also in the health niche because it's, because, you know, these niches can be combined. It's also in the health niche because you're not drinking, you know, coffee, and you're not, you know, taking energy drinks. So it's like a healthier alternative to pretty much make more money or have more energy, right? So the unique mechanism of this product is that it's a gum. So if you guys don't know what unique mechanism is, what that means is like, what's special about the product that sets this apart? Why is this product, you know, better at achieving the solution that I'm trying to get, right? Whether it be beauty, like if you're in the beauty niche, find a product that has a unique mechanism that's like, hey, that's interesting, that's a really cool way to solve that problem. So the reason that I say it was hard to find dropshipping products, but it's not hard to find branded products, is because in dropshipping, you need to have a viral factor versus in branded products, you don't need to. You just have to have a product that solves it in a unique way. See, I've made videos in the past on how to make, saturated products work, and I'm not gonna go too much over that in this video, but essentially all you need is a product with a unique mechanism that fits a niche, right? Boom. The next thing you wanna do is, this is just part of the branded route, is you wanna get a private supplier from the beginning to have a good brand reputation, because you don't wanna be dealing with 14, 20, 30-day shipping. You want your products to be shipped out in a timely manner, 4 to 10 days max. Getting a private supplier is not hard at all. It's literally, people overcomplicate this. If you want to use my private suppliers, literally just DM me on Instagram. Go down in the description, DM me on Instagram, and you could just ask for my private suppliers and I'll give it to you. But essentially, private suppliers are so much better than shipping from AliExpress, shipping from, Zendrop or stuff like that, because not only do you get the best prices, but you get the fastest shipping, and you can also negotiate with prices. So, it's mandatory to get a private supplier in the very, very beginning. There's no reason to be shipping from AliExpress or any of these drop shipping services at all, because you just don't want to have to deal with that headache. So now let's move on to step 3. So after you've already picked your market, picked your product, and you have a supplier, it's time to go ahead and start making creatives. Now, the way that I approach branded creatives is not just ripping your creatives from your competitor. I like to test strategically. This is the best way to come up with a winner and start making tons of money in e-com, is to be very intentional with your creatives. So the way to do that is to test as many angles as possible, and this should take 4 to 7 days. Now I just say 4 to 7 days because most people think that starting a branded store and making branded creatives takes time, but it really doesn't. You can rip. You also want to make like different hooks and all that stuff. So obviously I could make a whole video about how to actually make ads, but I have made a video about angles if you guys just check that out on my channel. But essentially the way that I test for angles is I make 10 creatives all with different angles. Now these are 10 different angles because there's so many different angles every product can take. Like an example, a little neuro gum here. This can be the angle of entrepreneurs who need to get more work done, or it could be for gym bros who don't want to take pre-workout, or it can be for students who are college students who are trying to get ready for their exams. Those are 3 angles I just named off the top of my head. But essentially what an angle is problem plus persona. Like, what problem are you solving for who, right? So there's so many different like mismatches you can do for different angles. But essentially what you want to do is you want to come up with 10 angles, 10 creatives. And for each of those creatives, you want to make 3 variations of different hooks. So essentially make the same creative and put 3 different hooks just so you can get a thorough test of the angle with 3 really good hooks. And then what you want to do with those is you want to put them in flex ads with 1 CBO and 1 ad set per angle. So you're going to have 1 CBO, 10 ad sets, and each ad set is going to have a flex ad in it doing the 3-2-2 method. Now this is the most simple ad strategy that you can go for, and this is also the most effective. I could do a whole video about ad strategy in another day, but essentially just 1 CBO, 1 ad set per angle, and a flex ad. Your flex ad will be that 1 ad with the 3 different hook variations. It'll have 2 different primary texts in it, and as well as 2 different headlines. Now the reason that we do 1 CBO is because after 3 days, you'll be able to pay attention at what gets the most spend. Because since we're doing CBO, Facebook will be able to decide which angle works the best. So that's how you'll be able to know what angle is working the best. So essentially after 3 days, you'll know what angle is working the best, what angle converts the most, what angle gets the most spend. And then from there, you want to move on to step 4, which is where you just want to simply just dive fully into your creative game. You want to take that same angle and you want to build your whole brand around that same angle. So let's say for this one, the angle is entrepreneurs who want to focus and make money, right? You want to pretty much build your entire brand around entrepreneurship and that exact avatar, right? So essentially what you want to do is you want the people in your video to look like entrepreneurs. You want your scripts to be based off of that. You want your messaging to be based on that. You want to do all your research in that angle now that you found out your winning angle. So this is where you're going to spend most of your time. This may take a month, this may take 3 months, but essentially this alone, after you find your winning angle, this alone will take you to 50 to 100K per month. Now I meant to say 50K to 100K per month. And the reason for that is because creatives is everything. Creatives is the lifeblood of your business. Obviously creatives is a whole different skill set that has to be learned, and but just know that creatives is what will take you to that next level. Now, if you guys do want to learn about creatives, I do actually specialize in marketing for e-com brands. So if you do want to work with me on making the most fire creatives to take you to 50 to 100K per month, just check the link in the description and you can book a call with me and I'll talk to you and see what I can do for you. I also do have a free training in there where I teach you how to do good creatives. So since this is where you spend most of your time at, I think you guys should. That is in the description if you guys do want to learn how to do this part. So just go ahead down there, watch that free training, and then, move on to the next step. So the next step after that is after you hit 100K per month or at least 50K a month, this is where you want to start focusing on front-end economics. Because always remember, guys, none of the AOV, none of the CRO, none of the conversion rate stuff, none of that matters until you're making money. Because think of it like this. Imagine you made the most fire website and you're only making 10K a month and your website brings you a 20% increase on sales, right? 20% increase on 10K per month is $2,000. Like, imagine spending all your time making the most fire website to only make $2,000 extra. Versus if you're already making 100K per month and you go ahead and make a website that gives you a 20% increase, you are now making $20,000 extra. So then it is definitely worth your time, right? So always remember that you don't want to focus on front-end economics until after you've scaled to 50 to 100K per month. But when you do get to this point, you do want to focus with boosting your AOV with upsells, downsells, cross-sells. I like to use AfterSell for this. It's an app on Shopify where you can literally just, add a bunch of little upsells and stuff and, be able to, get your AOV way higher than it was. And you also want to do aggressive offer testing because at the end of the day, offer is what's going to also make you scale. If you're able to find a winning offer, then you'll be able to scale a lot further. And this is where, bundle discounts, value stacking, shipping thresholds, all of that stuff matters. If you guys do want to learn how to do offer testing, be sure to subscribe because I will probably actually make a video on how to do offer testing very, very soon because offer testing is actually one of the most important things. And then, the next thing you want to do after you pretty much do this, by this point, you should be at like 150K, maybe 200K per month. By this point, you do want to start focusing on back-end economics, which is, emails, SMS, subscriptions, post-purchase. See, all of this stuff is after your creative game is dialed in. Remember, guys, your creatives is everything. Your entire business is the creatives. We're in the business of marketing because you could have the most fire product, the most fire website, the most best email flows, all that. If you don't have customers at your doorstep, then it doesn't even matter, right? So after you've already got your creatives right, after you've gotten your front-end economics right, you want to focus on back-end economics. These are just a little business stuff that boost, your profitability. This will give you MRR where you'll be able to make, 30, 40K per month without even doing anything because you have subscriptions, you have post-purchase upsells. This is where you can, be sure to profit off your customer long after they purchase. This is when your business is truly a business. This is when your brand is truly running on its own. And this is when your life changes. This is when you're able to make 50K profit, 100K profit every single month, without doing too much work, right? This is what we all strive for, right? This is where you should be imagining to take your brand at. After you stay in this point, you'll be making like 200, 300K per month. And then at that point, then this is when you just go ahead and start launching up variations of a hero product or just go ahead and launch up a new hero product. And then you repeat the entire process over and over. But yeah, that is essentially like the entire guide of how to build a brand, how to build a business. Now, obviously, this is not a quick process. This does take time, but I promise you guys it is worth it because this is how you actually become financially free. Not doing the dropshipping pump and dump stuff. I know a lot of guys that do the dropshipping stuff and then they can't find another winning product for 3 months. And they're literally for 3 months not making any money. But this is how you ensure that you're always making money every day, every week, every month. Not only that, are you growing your money every single day, every single week, every month. Always remember, guys, that you guys want to start a long-term brand. And it does actually matter with your creatives. This is actually the most important part. So like I said earlier, guys, if you guys want to learn how to make good creatives, if you guys want to learn how to build a good brand, because that's not all that I help with, but if you guys do want to learn how to do that, go in the link in the description because I do have a free training where I will show you guys how to make good creatives. And also be sure to subscribe because I'm constantly dropping sauce on this YouTube channel. I just want to share with you guys everything I know on how I make hundreds of thousands of dollars with e-com. Because at the end of the day, knowledge is power, and the more you guys know, the more you guys will be able to make money. I'm not scared of competition. At the end of the day, I just want everyone to eat. So, you feel me? That's all there is for this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, I will see you boys in the next one, and I'll see you guys later.